Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with another quick 2 cents. If you want to ensure that you're always making progress and moving forward with your development, you need to A, develop a relentless work ethic and refuse to be outworked. And B, do more of the things that you don't like to do. Doing what's hard will always provide the best opportunity for growth and ensure you're always moving forward. So work hard, do hard things. Boostman.
From the Inland Sports Show, just a quick programming note. In the next couple of weeks and months, we're really going to put a focus on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We got several thousand subscribers. We have over 1 million views. We're uploading new videos each and every week. So we're really going to point you guys, everyone who follows the Inland Sports Show, to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We will still post on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to post a lot of pictures, maybe some videos, but we really want to put an emphasis on the YouTube channel. So here's what we need from you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the Inland Sports YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up when you watch our videos. We'd really appreciate it. If you subscribe, maybe tell your teammates, other kids at school, other coaches on your coaching staff, your parents, your grandparents. We'd really appreciate the more subscribers, the better. So subscribe and give us a like. And if you want to take it even further, there's now a thanks button at the bottom as well if you'd like to take your support to the next level and make a small donation so we can continue to bring you great sports coverage here in the Inland Empire. All right, guys, who's ready to do this? It's the Inland Sports Friday Night Football recap. Man, what a night. We live streamed Aquinas versus Cajon over on IEMG tonight. It was so wet and rainy like it was, I think, everywhere. I've talked to about 10 different coaches tonight through text and phone calls, and it sounds like that was the common theme, right? Everyone battling the elements tonight, and that was certainly the case for Aquinas and Cajon. The good news is the live stream went off, things went pretty well, and it was a fantastic game. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm still completely soaked. My shirt, you can't probably tell, but it is drenched still. My socks are drenched. The equipment was fine at the end of the day. That's what matters. As long as the equipment, the computer, the cameras, all the cables, that was okay. And we battled through and saw a fantastic game. So if you'd like to see the whole game, go over to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. You can check that out. It was a wild game. We're about to show you some of the highlights from that one in a second. We've got highlights from, we've got 6 games already. We're going to show you some scores. There's still a couple games that we're hoping to squeeze in here. If we don't get them in tonight, you can always go back to the Inland Sports YouTube channel later, probably on Saturday morning, and we will have even more highlights from some of the games that we do not get to tonight. Again, we were live streaming Aquinas versus Cajon. I sprinted home to get here on the show. We did get 6 games, so that's still pretty good. And let's do it. Here's your Friday night high school football recap. All right, guys, here it is. It's 11:35 on my clock. It is already late, so this is going to be a very quick and brief Friday Night Football recap, again, with the highlights that we have right now and the scores that we have right now. But you can always come back to the Inland Sports YouTube channel if we get additional highlights from a variety of different games. We will post them so you can come back and check those out. All right, without further ado, again, because we want to blow through this. It's late. I'm tired. I'm hungry, so let's do this. Aquinas versus Cajon. It was our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week, and it was even better than must-see. Man, it was like a heavyweight fight in the pouring rain, back and forth. Let me set the table for you. It was in the fourth quarter, and both these teams were taking turns, taking the lead, battling back, ripping it back from the other team. So let's go to some of the highlights. The fourth quarter, Aquinas and Cajon in this one. Here's the deal. Cajon was punting with the lead, and that snap sails through the punter's hands. That's about the 5-yard line, and that's where Aquinas would take over. And you know the Falcons, they would capitalize. JoJo Solis, the super sophomore, gets in for the touchdown. It was 23-22 Aquinas. Falcons up by 1 with about a couple minutes to play. I think there was about 3 minutes or so. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Braden Austin goes back the other way for the touchdown. And Cajon would get the 2-point conversion to make it 30-23. So 1 second they are down by 1. The next second they have regained the lead, and they would hold on. 30-23, the final score. And again, that whole game you can see on IEMG. What a fantastic matchup between those rivals. And again, we've been waiting for that game for a long, long time. They've had some really good special teams. So finally we got that game. All right, now let's go to the highlights here. Let me get my shot sheets up with some of the plays and the players' names. Come on, download here. All right, let's see. All right, let's go. So we go from one CBL team, Cajon, getting the win against Aquinas tonight, and now we join Redlands going on the road to La Quinta, trying to get, well, back-to-back wins for Coach Stengel. They won the previous week against Citrus Hill, trying to do it out in the desert for a Thursday night special with the Terriers. And I should mention, it was La Quinta playing without several of their starting players. And here we go. This game was an uphill battle for La Quinta. There was a turnover there. Jaden Woods recovers for the Terriers, and they would capitalize big time. Alex Villa runs in the score for Redlands, and it's 7-zip Terriers. Now, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we saw this guy. He's pretty good. Aiden Insabuga. He had a big game against the Carter Lions, but tonight, or Thursday night, I should say, against Redlands, nothing doing here. You know, La Quinta would get some good chunks of yards, but the Terriers at the end of the day would keep them out of the end zone for the most part. Insabuga had some nice runs, again, just a sophomore, but a good job there by Redlands on fourth down to keep the Blackhawks out of the end zone. That was on fourth down. And then later, Redlands punching in a touchdown there. That's Amen Lockett in for the score, and Redlands goes on to win 28-13, the final score. So back-to-back wins for the Terriers. They improved to 2-1 this season under their new head coach, Bob Stengel. So congratulations to the Terriers beating Citrus Hill and going on the road out to La Quinta. A nice interception there for the Terriers. Congrats. Big win. All right. Now let's go to, actually we're going right back out to the desert. Let me get those highlights cranked up. That is Norte Vista taking on Rancho Mirage, the Rattlers. And again, the theme tonight, it rained everywhere. Out in the Coachella Valley, all across the IE, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, it was everywhere. So let's get to the highlights in this one. Early first quarter, first possession for Norte Vista. They fumble the snap, but they get it to Brian Temple. The senior makes something out of nothing. Go Braves! That goes all the way for a touchdown for Temple. 7-zip Braves. Dare I say, he took it to the Temple. There you go. And they would add to it Damon Iosefa. He lists at 6'2", 230. Big man. Look at that. 14-zip Norte Vista, man. Iosefa, not easy to bring down. The Rattlers found out the hard way. Struggling to move the ball. Luke Hirschberger gives Zaire Rivas a chance to make a play, and he did there for Rancho Mirage. But the problem was later, Hirschberger getting sacked by that Kenny Batdorf defense. And I have to say, I was talking to Ken Batdorf through text message last night. He was in rare form as we went back and forth. He likes this squad. he thinks they're going to do some good things. And tonight was probably evidence of that as Norte Vista wins tonight, beating Rancho Mirage. Let me find that final score. I had it here just a second ago. But Norte Vista did win tonight. I do know that. And Rancho Mirage falls to 0-4 on the season. And there we go. Okay, let's see. What was that final score? Again, I just rolled in from that Aquinas versus Cajon game that we did live on IEMG. So I'm seeing some of these scores for the first time tonight with you guys. There it is, 22-6, Norte Vista over Rancho Mirage. And this is probably a great time of the program to encourage all of you guys to make sure that you are following the Inland Sports website. That is inlandsports.wordpress.com, or you can type in sportswithpep.com. It'll take you to the same website. And we've got all the scores in our coverage area so far. Actually, there might be a couple that we still have missing, but as soon as we get those, we will update that as well. I think I see 2 or 3 scores that we still need. But again, trying to throw as many scores and highlights as we can get. And as I rolled into the house at about 10:50, soaking wet like a lot of you guys out there tonight. All right, let's go back out. All right, here we go. Santiago take it home, Palm Desert. And, we saw Palm Desert, what was it, the first week of the season, week 0, and they beat Rancho Verde. And we're like, okay, this Aztecs team, they're not too shabby. And they would beat Santiago tonight, even though it was a good effort by the Sharks. They would fall tonight by a final score of 35-10. So Palm Desert continuing to beat up on our local inland sports teams. And let's see a couple more of the highlights. I'm seeing these highlights for the very first time, just like you guys tonight. 35-10. Oh, looks like Santiago scooped it up. Not so good for the Sharks tonight. We're going to put these highlights on the Inland Sports YouTube channel so you can go back and check these out. Looks like it's going to be a lot of Palm Desert action if you're an Aztecs fan. But for our Santiago Sharks coming up on the short end against Palm Desert tonight out into the desert. Again, wet conditions out there as well in the Torchella Valley tonight. All right, and that looks like a touchdown there for the Aztecs. 35-10 final score. All right, now next up, let's see, we've got Barstow and Indian Springs. Now the final score for this Thursday night game between Indian Springs and Barstow was 42-14. And I was out there for a little bit of it, and I'll tell you what, this game was probably a lot closer than that score indicates. Head coach Chris Chaddock doing such a great job. His team was 3-0 going up against probably the toughest non-league opponent they would see. Maybe their toughest opponent, period, throughout the entire regular season before playoffs for Indian Springs. And they had their chances, too. Let's check it out. Barstow, who I believe is also the Aztecs, taking on our Coyotes. And we pick things up here. That was a sack for Indian Springs as I pull up my shot sheet here. And that was Giovanni Johnson, then later back to punt. It looked like it hit a Barstow player. The ref said, no, that is not a touchdown. Back to the Coyotes on offense. Nice run here by the QB, Binky Harris. And that'll move the chains. And then it's going to be Kelvin Ford. Now, we thought that punt might have been a touchdown return for the Coyotes. They said it did not touch the Barstow player. But look at that one. Was that a touchdown for Kelvin Ford? Did he have possession? Did he walk into the end zone? Not a touchdown either. Later, Harris on the run, heaves it up for the end zone, trying to get something here for the Coyotes, but broken up just at the last moment. Finally, Indian Springs finds the paint here. Harris to Nemo Neal in for the score, makes it a 21-7 game. So Indian Springs very much still in this contest with Barstow, but that Coyote comeback would come up short in this one. Again, 42-14 was the final score. First loss of the season for Indian Springs. They got to bye this upcoming week. They've got a 3-1 record, and they'll get West Valley, who's off to a strong start this season, in their next game. All right, let's see. I think we've got one more game to show you right now. Again, this is going to be a very brief Friday night recap. And any other highlights from different games that we get in tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning, we will post on the Inland Sports YouTube channel, so you can check that out. All right, let's check out our first time actually this season to see Notre Dame. Notre Dame taking on Xavier Prep, and for head coach Rick Ponte, still trying to get his first win as the head coach of the Titans, and they played this one at San Bernardino Valley College. And I jokingly said on Twitter, who would the Pope pick in this game? Notre Dame or Xavier Prep? He's probably very, very torn. Probably likes both of them, the Titans and the Saints. All right, let's crank it up. Notre Dame trying to come out on top in this one, but actually, first play from scrimmage, and he's only a freshman, Jalen Malcolm, 70 yards for the Xavier Prep touchdown. So just like that, 6-0, visiting Saints on top. Next drive for Xavier Prep. Oh, knocked him on the ground. He's all good. Next drive for the Saints, as Rick Pontius was looking for a stop. It's going to be QB Ryder Ruiz. Big run here by Ruiz, and a stiff arm along the way. That would set up a field goal attempt, but it would be blocked by Notre Dame, not having it. A bright spot here for the Titans. They turn them away on the field goal attempt. So Notre Dame on offense now, but Xavier Prep's Kyle Hill chasing down Waleski, brings him down for the sack. So the Notre Dame offense struggling to move the ball early in this game. Now it's going to be Saints with the ball. Big run again. This time it's going to be Tyson Ruiz, the brother of Ryder Ruiz, right into your living room. And then later, same drive, Ryder Ruiz airs it out to TJ Bosley for the touchdown for Xavier Prep. 12-zip now in the first quarter. So now we fast forward to the second quarter, and more from the Saints offense. This time it's going to be Malcolm again. He's going to break off a big run for Xavier Prep as we go into Notre Dame territory. And that would set up this. Ryder Ruiz to Tyson Ruiz, and check out the moves by Tyson. A little stick and move action by Tyson Ruiz. He goes into the paint. 47-13 the final score. Xavier Prep wins. Notre Dame still trying to get their first win of the season. Should be a pretty competitive game as they take on Citrus Hill this upcoming week. All right, back here live in the studio, a.k.a. my living room. And let me see, is that scoreboard finished rendering? Oh, it's at 98%, so maybe I can tap dance for another minute or so to get this scoreboard for you, because I want to see the scores too. Again, we were live streaming Aquinas versus Cajon in the rain. It was a great game, but the setup was big and the teardown was big of all the equipment, so it took me a little bit longer to get back here to do this show tonight. So we don't have as many highlights. Oh, there it is. Don't have as many highlights, and we got most of the scores, I think. But yeah, so it's an abbreviated version tonight. So as I bring in the scoreboard here, let me tell you this, that I got some good news. So tonight we had that game, Cajon and Aquinas, on IEMG. And the big football show, Sports Weekly Live, is returning. It might return as early as next week. We were kind of in limbo for a little bit, but it is returning. That is the good news, because it allows us to have more resources and cover more games, to get more highlights. So if you guys follow Inland Sports on social media, I will keep you up to date on where next Friday's football show will be. Will it be right here on the Inland Sports YouTube channel doing a Friday night recap, or will it be back on IEMG and we will go an hour long from 11:05 to midnight, and we'll have tons, hopefully between like 12 and 15 games of highlights and a lot more scores as well. Again, just lends itself to more resources. So we're really excited about that. So please follow Inland Sports, Twitter and Instagram specifically, and we will keep you guys up to date where the Friday Night Football show will be next week here on Inland Sports or over on IEMG. Either way, we're going to bring you the best high school football coverage here in the Inland Sports coverage area. Okay, there's your programming note. Let's check out some of the scores, because again, I just rolled into the house. I'm soaking wet. I want to see the scores as well. And here we go. So you'll notice some of them are blank. We're still going to fill in a couple of those. Excuse me. Cajon with that late touchdown return, and that was the difference in the game to beat Aquinas 30-23. Citrus Valley losing to Oak Hills 40-20. And my boy Carl Martinez, man, this guy is the best. He loves local sports. He loves his Blackhawks, and he always hooks us up. Told me it was 14-0 at halftime. Oak Hills had the lead, and it was just playing catch-up the rest of the way for the Blackhawks. Just couldn't do it. 2 fumbles and an interception by Citrus Valley kind of did them in. And he said, man, Oak Hills, good physical team. And just those 2 touchdowns by Oak Hills in the first half just could not overcome it. Redlands, East Valley, and Elsinore. Elsinore was up like 35-18 in the fourth quarter. Just did not see it go final. That might have been the final score, 35-18. But it looked like Elsinore was going to win. The war for the wheel goes to Beaumont. Big time, 64-0 against Banning tonight. Hey, congrats to Yucaipa. Another win, 24-13 against a pretty good Hesperia team. So that's a nice win for the T-Birds. Centennial bouncing back from that Mater Dei loss. They blank J. Sarah 41-0. So Centennial's offense, more importantly the defense, man. That Husky defense is really good. Don't sleep on them. 41-0 the final score there. Roosevelt still undefeated on the season. They beat JW North by a final of 42-6. Tommy Leach and the guys are rolling along. King and Riverside Poly. That was the Riverside TV game of the week. Big rivalry game in the city of Riverside. And it's all King, all Wolves. 38-7 the final there. You saw highlights of Palm Desert and Santiago. 35-10 Aztecs in that one. Murrieta Valley flexing their muscles against an in-town rival. Murrieta Mesa 56-14 the final there. Still looking for a score for Vista Del Lago and Great Oak. And I'm gonna open up my YouTube real quick and just see, because you guys are pretty good about jumping in the live chat sometimes about some of these scores that I am missing out on. So if you have that one, hit us up or hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to see it. Carter beats Arroyo Valley 51-14. Orange Vista blanking Kaiser 35-0. And here's the caveat here. Big time running back for the Cats, Kyle Tyler, still out. They did miss him tonight. And Billy Cardosi, the head coach of the Kaiser Cats, texted me tonight and just said, man, rough night. Just really couldn't do a thing against a really good Orange Vista squad. And really missing Kyle Tyler. So Coach Cardosi saying these guys are going to try to get things going back on the right track. This is a really good team who had a great start. Ran into a couple pretty good teams out there. What was it, Sultana last week and Ramona the previous week, where they got that dramatic win. So it's kind of been up and down for the Kaiser Cats, but Coach Cardosi will have them ready. Okay, let's see. San G over Citrus Hill 36-2. So now San G has strung together a couple of victories here. Patriot against Grand Terrace. I was actually very intrigued by this game. We had Patriot head coach Chris Fowler on the Inland Sports Show this past week. They were off to a 3-0 start, but he knew their biggest non-league test would be Grand Terrace. Looks like they put up a fight, but it's the Titans winning 35-21. We got GT in our top 25, our Boost Top 25 poll for a reason. They're pretty good. Bloomington blanked by Chaffee 22-0. Rialto against Hemet. Because of the Fairview fire in the Hemet area, that game was postponed to the week of September 19th. So that Friday would be September 23rd, I believe. Still looking for a Fontana score. Big Bear and Colton canceled, but they're trying to reschedule. That was the plan at least. Still looking for a Pacific score. Canyon Springs beating Supa Dupa Harupa Valley 26-13 the final there. Arlington needed just one touchdown. That was it, but it was good enough to beat A.B. Miller 7-zip the final there against the Rebels. Norte Vista, you saw some of those highlights going on the road to Rancho Mirage, 22-6 the final score for head coach Ken Batnorf. And I told Coach, and I'm going to put him on the spot right here, I said, hey, if you win on the road at Rancho Mirage, we need to get you on the Inland Sports Show next week. So we'll see if we can make that happen. I just got a text message with the Great Oak score, 24-14. Great Oak over Vista Del Lago. That sounds like a big heavyweight fight. Those are two really good teams going head-to-head. Big thanks to Antonio Patterson, the father of Showtime, the big-time quarterback for the Ravens. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, I'm going through my text messages. I probably heard from about 10 to 15 coaches tonight with scores and stats, and I do really appreciate it. Just tonight was kind of weird because we went out and we live streamed that game between Cajon and Aquinas, so that put me back in terms of getting back to edit video and get scores, but we're doing the best we can, and things will be better next week. Ramona over Temescal Canyon, 41-0. The Rancho Verde in San Jacinto, I did not see this score. That's another score I did not see. So if you guys have it, hit me up. I'm going to open up the live chat real quick one more time. Let's see. Paris over Cathedral City, 27-19. And, Coach Sotelo blowing up my phone tonight. Man, Paris is undefeated. They are 3-0. We're going to have to get those guys on the Inland Sports Show again soon. Big win, 27-19 against Cat City. And in that game, Armando Barney had a standout game. 3 receiving touchdowns, 5 tackles on defense. He had an interception. So now they've got Supa Dupa Harupa Valley next week as Paris looking to move to 4-0 on the season. And he said, Coach Sotelo said, don't forget about Diego Muir. He also had 140 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Congrats to Paris, man. Local football's better when they're playing better. How about this one? Paloma Valley and Heritage in the old Menifee Bowl. And listen, in this rivalry game, Paloma Valley, in their previous 11 attempts, had never beaten Heritage. Tonight's the night. First time the Wildcats have beaten Heritage. 28-19 the final score. I want to give a shout out to Coach Browning with Paloma Valley. Coach Dilly's a good dude too, but Coach Browning always hits me up, keeps me up to date on what's going on with the Wildcats. That game was played at Valley View. Again, a lot of these games being shifted to different days or different locations because of the weather and the Fairview fire in that Hemet area that was making its way down towards wine country in the kind of the Temecula area. So that game was at Valley View. But congrats to Paloma Valley getting their first Menifee Bowl win. Valley View Northwood have not seen that score yet. Moreno Valley over Diamond Ranch, 32-14. Nice win for the Vikings there. And Ontario Christian beat Rancho Christian. It looks like I cut it off. I cut off the score there. So let me pull that one up. Let's see. Of course, I got to refresh here. I do have that score. I just saw it. It was Ontario Christian 41 and Rancho Christian 19. All right, so I think that's all the scores. Let me look at the live chat one more time. Shout out to Aquinas Mama. Listen, I bet you she was out there in that soaking rain. And again, we had an easy up, but all the equipment was under the easy up. We had 4 cameras, we had a computer, we had all these cables going everywhere, and it was fun, but it was really hard. And I am still soaked, but it was totally worth it. That was a great game, and a big thanks to IEMG for picking up the fees for that. And listen, I'll be honest. Maybe you guys aren't aware, when we go out and live stream a local high school game, we have to get approval from the CIF Southern section. And specifically in the case for football, every time we live stream a game, a high school football game, it is $600. That's the CIF fee. So $600 straight to the CIF to do these games. And so I just want to thank IEMG and the city of San Bernardino for stepping up. So maybe there's other cities out there, Temecula, Hemet. I know Riverside does it. We work very closely with Riverside TV, and they do such a great job. I'm going to start doing a lot more with the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, on Riverside TV, maybe as early as next week. I hope so. But maybe some of these other cities too, because it's $600 per game. That's a lot of money. So people always ask me, Pep, you should live stream more games. You should be out at more games all over the place. I'm like, listen, that sounds great, but we're struggling to find sponsors, and it's $600. So big thanks to IEMG and the city of San Bernardino for paying those fees so we can get that game out to the public. Aquinas and Cajon, that was a good one. Shout out to Aquinas Mama. And she's blowing up the live chat. I always appreciate that. I got another text. Coach Galliano. He says 34-18, the Jack over the Cho. I love that. San Jacinto and the Rancho Verde. That was a score we were trying to find. So thanks, Coach Galliano. I appreciate it. We had him on the show, 2 weeks ago? Wasn't the previous week? Not this past week, but the previous week. So congrats. Nice win for San Jack over Rancho Verde, 34-18. That final score there. So one more note before we let you go. It's just about midnight. We will put all these scores, and we'll put this show and videos on the website. That is inlandsports.wordpress.com and sportswithpep.com. And then if we get any more videos that we did not show tonight, we will make sure we load them to the Inland Sports YouTube channel later tonight if I get them still. I'll load them later tonight. I'm a night owl. Or we'll do it tomorrow morning, and we'll make sure that we get those posted. But we did have Aquinas versus Cajon, Redlands versus, who did they play? La Quinta, Norte, Vista versus Rancho, Mirage, Santiago against Palm Desert, Barstow against Indian Springs, and Notre against Xavier Prep. All right, again, if you're watching tonight, let's see. I'm going to go look right now if this is accurate. It says we've got 9 likes. I know there's at least 35 people watching right now, so make sure you like this video. And if you're watching other videos on the YouTube channel, give us a like. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. It's absolutely free. Just hit subscribe, and you'll be updated when we post new content. And we're putting up a lot of football content this season with our All-Stars, our Big Boost Top 25, which is fun and highly controversial, our Big Boost Play of the Week, our Ken Sporting Goods Must-See Game, and Top Games of the Week. So there's a lot of content coming your way for this football season. And if you'd like to take your support to the next level, not on the live videos, but all the other videos on the Inland Sports YouTube channel, there is a thanks button, and you can donate a couple bucks to what we do to support Inland Sports. Again, we just told you the CIF fees. If you're like, hey, we want to live stream a game, how much is it? And I'm like, well, it's $600 right off the top to CIF. We don't even see that. It's not like us trying to make money. That goes straight to the CIF. So it's not cheap. So if you see that thanks button and you feel inclined, we would appreciate it. All right, my name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, make sure you follow us on social media. We'll let you know where next Friday's football show will be airing right here on the Inland Sports YouTube channel, or possibly over on IEMG with the return of Sports Weekly Live, which will lend itself and give us more resources to cover more games. So we're really excited about that. All right, I'm Pep Fernandez. Stay safe. God bless you guys. And we will see you next time with more Inland Sports.